Oh, hey everybody, welcome back. It is the last of this webinar series, but don't worry, we will definitely do more webinar series coming up. We're going to have a few. I saw our wonderful marketing team scheduled a few today. I'm not sure what they are, but they scheduled them, so stay tuned for those invites. We are going over 4.6.0 today. 4.6.0 is scheduled to launch, and you'll probably hear this date a few times. It is scheduled to launch on June 9th, so we're looking at 10 days, give or take. Right now, it looks like that will be the date. So we're going to get started just quickly with a few polls, and then I'm going to pass this off to Jason and Alex, who are going to introduce themselves, and then they're going to talk about the 4.6 update. Let me just get these quick polls running here. I can remember how to do this. I'm getting old. Here we go. Do we provide you enough information to keep you up to date on IQ panel software releases? Tough one. I get a yes, lots of yeses, some no's.
Moment of
I think
truth.
we're doing a decent job.
So,
We're doing a decent job. Let's see here. We'll give that just a couple more seconds. About 60% of the people have voted. That's pretty good, Alex. Looks like back of the napkin math, 3 out of 4 say we're doing a good job providing people up to date on IQ panel software releases. That's good. That's good news.
nice.
All right. Here we go. This is always a hot button subject, so we're going to launch it. Let us know what you think, and then if we want to have a further discussion on this, we definitely can. Would you prefer to manage software updates yourself, or would you like us to be doing automatic updates? So we manage the updates, or you do it yourself? I wish I could share these, like when these come in. Like I think you guys would be interested to see how quick it changes back and forth, right? So it's about 65% of people want us to manage updates for them. So kind of auto update stuff. That's great. Good feedback.
Good feedback, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
All right. How are you currently informed of IQ panel software updates? Our dealer portal, Facebook, email notifications, your technical sales managers, regional sales managers, or you're not being informed at all? Got some Facebook people. We got some closest dealer portal people. Looks like we're going to have a chat with our TSMs and RSMs. Oh, no. They finally got a vote. One single vote. About 50% of you are not being informed in advance of IQ panel software updates. So that's really good feedback that we can, definitely take to heart, which is, kind of the purpose of this webinar, right? You're going to see exactly what's in the 4.6 software update. Alex and Jason have a very deep dive, some cool overview stuff, and then a deep dive on the actual updates. But yeah, about 20% dealer portal, 20% email, 10% on Facebook, but 50% not informed. So we got to do a better job of that, clearly.
Good to know.
Yeah, that is good to know. Did you know you can see all the TSPs for all of our software updates and instructions on how to update on our dealer portal? You got a yes? A couple yeses, a lot of yeses, all yeses so far. A couple no's. Where do I find this dealer portal? Well, for those who click, where do I find this dealer portal? The website is right in the brackets. So just go to dealers.colsys.com, register. Our wonderful marketing team will get you approved, and you'll be able to access all of our TSPs, firmwares. If you want to do access point updates, all that stuff is all available on the dealer portal. So that's great. But about 80% are aware of, they can see all of the software stuff on the dealer portal. So that is wonderful. 2 more, and then I'll shut up and go in the background. There we go. Do you feel that your feedback is considered, in IQ panel software releases? So features you've asked for, things you want to see. Do you feel we listen, not listen? It's pretty evenly split so far. Like a lot of yeses, not many no's, a lot of sometimes. So that's good. So I'd say 85%, give or take, 90% are yes or sometimes, and we only have 10% saying no. So I think we're doing a good job of listening. We could always do better. And that's one thing, that we keep reiterating to everybody is we voice of customer. We want your feedback. We want to know what you want to see. I mean, can we do everything? No. But if enough people are asking for something, or there's a value, to doing something, it's always going to be considered. So, just make sure, you can put it in chat here. You can reach out to any of us. You can reach out to your regional sales or your technical sales managers. And we'll make sure that your voice is heard. But, that's great. Really love that. 91% is yes or sometimes. So that's awesome. And now this is the next loaded question. I don't know. I put this in, but Jason put it in. Jason said he wanted this as a poll, and I put it in, but I'm going to see what the feedback is here. Would you prefer we do more frequent or less frequent software releases? So keep the new features coming, slow it down a bit, or you only want if a critical fix?
Yeah, I'm curious about this one.
Yeah.
Oh,
very
I'm
much.
curious. Well, early. I mean, there's still only 40% of people have voted so far. 77% keep the new features coming.
Okay.
Only 8% for slow down, and kind of around that 20% mark if we only want if a critical fix is included. But it's pretty. It's kind of what I thought it would be. I'm glad, because I was really questioning putting this poll up. But it's good. Yeah, it's pretty steady. 72% keep the new features coming.
Cool.
So having said that, I'm out. I'll be back in the back doing chat. And Jason, Alex, off to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Neil. That was an interesting poll. I really like to see that. One thing is very clear to me. Sounds like we have some room for improvement as far as keeping you guys updated, keeping you guys informed. Maybe we can work on our Facebook posts and email notifications, but do keep in mind that everything is posted to the dealer portal. So I would make it a habit to log into our dealer portal every month, every couple months, go to the support, the TSP tab, see what's new, just to make sure that you can stay up to date that way. But again, maybe we have some room for improvement there. My name is Jason. I'm one of the technical sales managers here. I've been around for a long time. You likely recognize me or know me. Excited to be here today. Excited to talk about 4.6 software release that's coming out soon. Alex here, you might not recognize him. He's one of our PMs. I really like that we have been including the PMs on these webinars. It's a different perspective, gives you guys exposure to a different part of the company that you don't typically have exposure to. So I'll let Alex introduce himself next.
Yeah, I'm Alex Vukadin, Senior Product Manager here in the JCI Intrusion Business Unit. Been part of the Qualsys/JCI team for almost 8 years now. Yeah, really excited to share with all of you the new features and fixes that are coming in our 4.6.1 software update for the IQ4 family.
One of the things we really like about Alex is he's really interested in the customer feedback. He is the project manager for IQ4. So first and foremost, I guess if you have any issues with IQ4, this is your guy. Find him in the streets. But he's really interested in customer feedback. He's interested in hearing what you guys are looking for, where you want us to go, where you want us to head, what do you want us, what do you want, right? If you guys want a pink IQ4, he's the guy that needs to know it, right? So we can go build you a pink IQ4. With that said, he has, at the end of this webinar, there'll be some survey questions that he came up with. Again, collecting feedback. What do you want us to do in the future? Where should we head? What direction should we go? So if you have a few minutes, please fill out those survey questions so that Alex can take that back to the broader team and we can try to make some of this stuff happen. With that being said, we're going to talk about 4.6 software release. This is a big one that's coming out June 9th, as Neil mentioned. This has been a long time in the works for us. There's a lot of really cool stuff being included in this, along with a bunch of new supported devices. So if you missed last week's webinar, we talked about all the new PowerG Plus devices that were coming out that are now supported in 4.6. A lot of cool new sensors, a lot of cool new devices. If you missed that webinar, it is on YouTube, so you can go check that out on YouTube and see what all is coming out and what are the new features. As you know, PowerG Plus is a 2.0 version of PowerG. We've given everything a facelift. We've added new functionality. We've given you guys the ability to lock these devices to your dealer IDs. We've included battery analytics. There's a lot of really cool stuff with PowerG Plus. So again, if you missed last week's webinar, go check out our YouTube channel. It's on there. Really awesome webinar. And then prior to that, we did an IQ5 webinar. So if you missed that, if you're curious about what IQ5 is, when it's coming, what it's all about, there's a webinar posted to YouTube about IQ5 as well. So with that being said, just wanted a quick recap. We have a whole bunch of cool new devices coming out. security sensors, smoke detectors, life safety devices. There's a few automation devices as well. We're launching our new touchscreen door lock this year. We just are getting ready to launch the new 3-way in-wall PowerG switches as well. So a lot of cool new stuff coming our way, which we're really excited about. I myself am particularly excited about the water tile. This one is probably my favorite device that we're coming out with this year. I don't know why, but I hate crawling underneath the vanity and trying to run the typical flood sensors. You got to mount the device, you got to shorten the cable, you got to route the cable, you got to put the probe down. This is going to make things much more simple. You can go deploy these really easily, throw them under your washer, throw them under your fridge without having to do anything. Pop the battery in, learn them in, and go toss them out throughout your house. So I'm really excited about this. In fact, on top of that, I'm really excited about the sensing cable it's an optional sensing cable. So we have this cable that is actual sensor. If water touches this cable anywhere on the cable, it will detect and trip and let the panel know. So you could wrap that around a water heater. You could run that through a bunch of cabinets. It's completely battery operated, 5-year battery life. We can also extend the probe if you want to mount the sensor up out of the way. That comes with a really cool mounting bracket for it as well. So this sensor, of all the new PowerG Plus devices that are coming out, this sensor I am the most excited about. This one is available today. It's in distribution. You can actually technically go pick it up today. You do have to wait until 4.6 launches on June 9th for it to work, however, so keep that in mind. Alex, how about you? Are you excited about, what are you excited about, the most about?
I'm really excited about the PowerG touchscreen lock, actually. It's a very premium looking lock, and one of the things I like about touchscreen locks is that you can't pick these locks, right? They're like super secure. We've even, gone the extra step of you can't even program these locks when they're paired over PowerG. Really, the only way to have control and configuration of this lock when it's paired over PowerG is through the panel or through alarm.com. So we've really, closed all of like the loopholes and like vectors of like, somebody being able to like, get into the house or get into your business. It's just a great product.
We love these PowerG locks. If you guys haven't had a chance to mess with these, I would definitely recommend it. Obviously, the range on them is insane. You can go stick these up anywhere you want without having to run into any range issues. But on top of that, the battery life is just crazy, right? We get amazing battery life on these. We're quoting a year battery life on them today, but that's likely going to change because we have locks that have been running 1.5, almost 2 years, and they're still 50, 60% battery life. So
2.5, man. 2.5 for me.
There you go. 2.5 years, you said, Neil?
Yeah, I pretty well got the first PowerG lock. It's been about 2.5 years, and it's starting to finally get down there. It's about 25% right now, but that's still incredible.
There you go. That's incredible, right? A Z-Wave lock, 6 months probably on average, you're changing batteries. So to get 1 year to 2 years of battery life, or even 2.5, that's insane. So if you haven't had a chance to check these out, check them out. We have the rubber button ones. They're out. They're available today. You can go pick those up in distribution tomorrow. This one will come out a little bit later this year, so keep an eye out for more information on that. All right, let's get into this thing. The webinar is scheduled for an hour. I don't think we're going to get an hour out of this, so we'll get you out of here a little bit early. But there's some cool stuff in here. So excited to go through this with you guys. As I mentioned, this has been a long time in the works for us. If you've been kind of tracking this, so some of our dealers that we communicate with more frequently, this has had a few delays for good reason. There's a lot of good stuff in here. We really wanted to make sure that this was that we could support all this, that it came out, that it was going to work. So we're excited about this build. I mentioned we did an IQ5 webinar a couple of weeks ago. This 4.6 software will be the baseline for IQ5 as an FY. So everything you get in IQ Panel 4 with this software version will be kind of the starting point for IQ5. Everything will be supported from this point forward on IQ5 as an FYI. This is a huge build. These four, we do multiple software updates per year. Typically, we do a 0 build. This is a bigger build. This is going to be a more feature-rich build. This is where we add in cool new features. This is when we add in support for new devices, and then we do some fixes. And then we'll follow on to those with some smaller, 0.1 builds that typically are more bug fix focused, more improvement focused. But this is a big one. This one's got all the features. It's got all the new supported devices. So we'll go ahead and dive into this and show you guys what is coming. So Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'd say one of the hallmark features of the 4.6.1 software release is the doorbell analytics. And really, this is taking the alarm.com doorbell analytics that they currently have on the customer app and being able to get thumbnails and notifications and enunciations of those events. Go back one slide, Jason.
Sorry.
The doorbell analytics one. Yeah. Being able to see the thumbnail and then also the enunciation of the event that that's being detected on the panel. And the use cases that come to mind here, that I think everybody can sort of, put themselves in these shoes is you have an urgent delivery or you have a valuable delivery coming to your door, and you don't want to, you don't want that be sitting on your porch and giving any kind of thief the opportunity to take that that product or whatever that delivery is, whether it's groceries or dinner or even like a very valuable good. And so this is really great. It allows that event to enunciate throughout your home through the panel, and you can go and pick up the package as soon as you hear the panel enunciate it. It's, again, back to my comment about the door lock, it's closing the opportunity for somebody to come and take your deliveries off of your porch. Is there also an animation on this one, Jason?
Yeah, for some reason the animation's not working. So we'll show it on the next slide for the camera analytics.
Camera analytics, yeah, very similar. The camera being able to detect events that you currently get on your alarm.com customer app and getting those thumbnails and events and enunciations on the panel UI. It shows up as a pop-up. It pops up over the photo frame. It pops up over the lock screen. So there's absolutely no friction in being able to get this information to your customer and enunciated at their installation site. This is a really powerful feature.
Yeah, this is really cool. So
I really wish the doorbell one was working, because you can see how fast, maybe trying it again, you can see how fast from when the notification appears to the thumbnail showing, like getting that pop-up. It's super, super impressive how quick it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that's not working, but similar to the camera analytics one, you'll get a pop-up with an image of what's going on. And let me show you actually how to set this up real quick. So let me pop over to my alarm.com account real quick. I'll show you where to go to set this up, and I'll show you a couple ways that I use this. So this is my personal account. I scrubbed all the pictures of me in my underwear, so we don't have to worry about that. But let me show you where to go to set up these analytics rules. And then again, I'll give you a couple examples. So when you log into the customer account, you click on the video tab, you go to the recording rules tab. And then if you have an analytics rule already set up, you can edit it and change it. But I'll just show you for the sake of setting up a new rule. We'll go to the new rule. You go to the video analytics rule, select the camera that you want. I'll do my doorbell camera, right? And if you scroll down, there's all sorts of cool settings in here for the doorbell camera. But if you scroll down all the way, these are the different notification triggers that you can set up, right? You can draw a perimeter and have it detect if someone walks in the perimeter. You can set a tripwire if somebody crosses a tripwire. Have it pick that up. Package delivery. So if somebody comes and sets a package down on your front porch, for example, with my doorbell camera, you can get a notification of that. And then package retrieval. If someone removes a package from your porch, you can be notified from that. Of course, when you set those up, you can choose to have it sent to your phone, to your email. I have a text message sent to my phone with a thumbnail. And then the thumbnail on the panel, you just got to check this box, right? Do you want the panel notifications, yes or no? Do you want a thumbnail, or do you just want a text? You get to choose whether you want one or the other, right? So this has been really cool for me. So me and my wife, we do HelloFresh delivery. They deliver a box of food and dump it on your porch. I don't know what it is with the delivery guys nowadays, but half of them ring the doorbell, half of them just set it and run off, right? So there's been times where we, open the door and there's been a package of food sitting out there for who knows how many hours, right? So we have this really cool rule set up now that anytime a package is set on our porch, not only will we get the message to our phone, but it pops up on the panel, right? And so look at the panel, you can see right away, oh, our HelloFresh delivery was just delivered, we can go out and get it, which is really cool. Another way that I use these analytics rules is on my RV pad. So I have a camera overlooking my RV pad. I have a trailer on the RV pad. there's been a lot of different trailer thefts around the area lately, a lot of that going on. I'm always a little bit concerned about somebody coming and yanking my trailer or trying to get into my trailer when I'm not home or whatever. So I have a rule set up. I have a ground perimeter set up that covers my entire RV pad. And you can set timing for this. You can have it only at the nights. You can have it all day long. You can have it on scheduled, certain days or whatever. You can even have it set up for when the system is armed or disarmed, whatever you want. But I have it set up so that if anybody sets foot on that RV pad, I'll get a notification both on my phone and my panel, which is really cool. In fact, the other day we were watching TV and panel, dinged. I looked over. Sure enough, there's someone standing on the RV pad. Some kid kicked a ball into our yard and hopped the fence to grab it. And I was sitting on my couch and looked over and I could see on my panel that it was just a kid standing in my RV pad, nothing to worry about. So really, really cool new feature. The analytics are awesome. And having that now push that notification to the panels has been a really cool feature for us in my home anyways. So this works on any alarm.com camera that supports analytics. And again, it's really simple to set up. Just go set up a new analytic rule, select what kind of notification you want, allow it to push to the panel, and you're off to the races. Pretty cool.
Yeah, speaking of like the delivery people not doing what they should be doing, at my home, we just recently had, yesterday we were supposed to get a valuable delivery, like of a new laptop, and it's a signature on delivery, it's a really expensive laptop. And me and my wife are just like sitting there, one of us is like kind of like waiting for the notification to come in through email, and it's just like not coming. So this is a super useful feature where we would have just, set up the rule, not have to worry about it. And whenever, that package hits the porch, we just, hear the panel enunciate it, walk out there, bring it inside.
Yeah, that's cool. Very cool. Next feature that we've rolled out, this has been a pretty big ask from a lot of our dealers. We said we were going to do this, when we launched the new IQ Remote PowerG. We're here, it's ready, super excited about this. So as you guys know, with our past IQ remotes, right, we supported video streaming, right? With the secondary keypad, you could see the doorbell, you could see, you can live stream, all of your alarm.com cameras, see what's going on from the secondary keypad. When we moved to the IQ Remote PowerG, that was awesome because we removed that dependency on Wi-Fi and went to PowerG, which was just reliable and amazing. But we lost the video streaming feature, right? We couldn't get video on the IQ Remote when paired via PowerG. So it was like we moved to this more reliable communication path using PowerG, but we lost some really cool features in being able to see your cameras on the remote. We're excited to announce that that's no longer the case, right? We now support dual path on the IQ Remote. So now what you're able to do is pair the remote to the main panel via PowerG. You still get the reliability of PowerG, you still get the range of PowerG, but what we're allowing you to do now is connect the remote to Wi-Fi while paired via PowerG and take advantage of that video streaming, right? So connect the remotes via PowerG, get the reliability, still connect them to Wi-Fi, still be able to live stream your cameras, still be able to see your doorbell cameras, which is really cool. Again, huge ask from a lot of you guys. Excited that it's here, works great. I've been using it on my PowerG remote and really like that. You still have to enable the camera stream to go to the panels from alarm.com like you would before. And don't forget, in order to get the video stream on the secondary remotes, there's a setting actually in the IQ Panel 4 that you have to check to stream to allow that stream to push to the secondary keypads. So same as before, same way you'd set it up with the older remotes. But now fully supported across the board with the PowerG remote. So I'm really excited about this one. This has been, again, a huge ask from a lot of our dealers, since we launched that remote. So give that a shot. This works awesome. I really like this feature.
I'll talk about this next feature. So I think we can all understand, one of the things that we all do before we actually leave our homes is we check what the temperature is outside or the weather forecast to just, make sure that we're dressed up enough or, have enough layers. This is really just a shortcut. Instead of having to go and check that weather, if you install a temperature sensor outside, you're able to get that temperature reading on your panel UI. It's overlaid also on top of the photo frame. So you're able to just quickly take a glance at what the current temperature is outside and, plan your outing outside accordingly.
I just want to clarify there, Alex, and thanks. It's not just the temp sensor, it's any of the PowerG or PowerG Plus devices that can report their ambient temperature, right? So It's
Correct.
90+% of our PowerG devices have the ability to report their temperature. Just wanted to clarify that, sorry.
Yeah, so it can be an outdoor contact, and it can be an outdoor motion, outdoor, PIR cam.
So these sensors have always had the ability to read temperature. We've just never really taken advantage of that until today, right? So every one of these PowerG sensors, PowerG Plus sensors, can technically detect temperature. You choose which ones you want to display on the panel really easily. Go to settings, advanced settings, the installation menu, and then either the installer, dealer, or master settings menu, and enable the PowerG temperature reporting, and then select which devices you want to report. It's that simple. Kind of cool now for more informational purposes. This only works on the panel UI for today. The goal is, though, here in the near future is to get that onto alarm.com. And once we do that, we'll be able to do more with it, right? Tie it to the thermostat, turn on the thermostat, turn off the thermostat based on that ambient temperature reading from a specific PowerG sensor, maybe down in the kids' room or the basement or whatever, right? So more to come on this, but again, this has been something that PowerG sensors have been capable of doing for a long time. We just haven't been utilizing it. We haven't been taking advantage of it. So we're excited to start to open up some more of those PowerG features that we haven't been using. And again, this will get better over time. Once we get this onto alarm.com, we'll be able to do much more with it. So that's kind of a cool new feature coming as well. How about dark mode, right? We not too long ago, we released the ability to enable dark mode on the IQ Panel 4. I like this. I'm a dark mode guy. My computer's in dark mode. Everything I use, my phone's in dark mode. So this is cool for me. Looks really good on a black panel. If you have a black panel with the dark mode, I really like that. But we got some pushback, rightfully so, that, man, it's weird. My main panel has dark mode and the panel in the bedroom doesn't, right? Let's sync those up. So with this new software, we can now enable dark mode on both. It's an individual setting. You can do them one or the other or both or whatever you want. But now you can go into the IQ remote and enable dark mode, same as you would on the IQ Panel 4. Again, real easy. Go to the settings, hit the display. You don't even need a code. This is not one of those settings that's protected behind a code. Just swipe down, settings, hit the display button, and check the dark mode box. So super simple, and going to sync them up now and make them look good. So go ahead, Alex.
The next feature that we'll talk about here is silent disarming. So for years, and going all the way back to IQ Panel 2, we've had the ability to do silent arming. And really, silent arming was not to disturb, people at home if they're sleeping, or they need silence when you're arming your system. Now we're extending that to also allow disarming. So really, the use case here is you have to leave your home early, go to work or whatever it is, and you don't want to actually wake up anybody at home that's still sleeping. So leave home silently by silent disarming.
Yeah, again, another one that's been asked for probably too long. All the way back to IQ Panel 2 days, I can remember people asking for this. So yeah, as Alex mentioned, get up early. I can disarm the system without waking up the whole family, right? With countdown beeps and stuff like that. So again, you can see it on the screen there. You just get a new icon when you go to disarm. Click the silent little button off to the bottom left there, and you can disarm without the countdown beeps. That's kind of cool.
One thing we should clarify: it's only from arm stay, right? You can't silently disarm from arm away.
Yeah, good point. Yep, good point. This one's exciting, right? This one has been a frustration of mine. This has been a feature I've been asking for. If you're like my house and you have a bunch of lights, and it's really annoying to have to, every time I want to go turn on the light or the porch light, I have to scroll down to get to a light that I want. And so this is something I've been asking for, is the ability to, I'm going to get to that in a second.
Yeah, First of all, wrong slide.
Yeah, wrong slide. I jumped ahead. Sorry. There's two parts to this. So excited about both of these, but improved dimmer, right? If you have problems with fat fingering a touchscreen, which we hear about all the time, just with the nature of having a touchscreen, we've made it easier now to dim these lights, right? When you select the dimmer, let me see if I can get this to replay again. You can see that we'll actually pop up the dimmer into a bigger screen, and makes it much more easier to dim, and makes it much more easier to get to the right level that you want to get it to. So you can be much more precise. And again, if you have problems with fat fingering touchscreen, this will make this more simple. The part I'm even more excited about is the ability to adjust the order, right? So again, if you have a bunch of lights, as you can kind of see here on the screen, you're probably doing what I'm doing. Every time you go to the panel and you're trying to turn a light on or off, you have to scroll down and go find it, right? There's lights that I use way more than other lights. There's lights I hardly ever use. And depending on how you learn those in, they're ordered wrongly, and it's just kind of annoying to have to scroll every time you want to get to the light that you want to turn on. We're now giving you guys the ability to reorder these lights, reorganize them the way that you want to order them, press and hold and drag, just like you would like an app on your phone, right? Same kind of style as you can see here. So now I can reorganize the lights that I use the most, that I turn on and off the most, the porch, the back porch, that kind of stuff. My Eve lights, right, that I turn on and off every single day. Now I can order those in the order that I like the most. And it just simplifies things. It makes it much more usable. I almost didn't want to use the panel before when I had to go and scroll and find things. Now that I'm able to reorganize that and put it in an order that's good for me, I tend to use the panel more often now, which is pretty cool. So if you have a bunch of lights like me, go check it out here on June 9th and reorganize your lights. I really like this feature.
All right, the next feature that we'll talk about as part of 461 is the ability to replace PowerG devices. So really, what this is you have a PowerG device that somehow fails or malfunctions, and you need to actually replace the device. And if that device is, configured, in a specific way and part of some, maybe some rules, automations, schedules, you want to retain all of that and not have to reprogram it. So you can just replace that device as long as the device that you're coming in with and replacing it with has the same 3-digit prefix or sticker type. Yeah, so this is a really useful feature. Again, easily replacing a device without having to reconfigure it and add automations to it and rules if you have those.
Yeah, so this was
using the replacement of devices.
Yeah, this was for the techs, right? This one was for you guys. Again, feedback from techs, make it simple, make it more easy, right? I don't want to reprogram, delete, and have to reprogram completely. Just go in, adjust the ID, and hit replace. So you'll notice when you go into the sensor menu now, the devices and then the sensor menu, the delete option has now changed to delete/replace. And it just makes it simple. You're going back and doing service call, sensor fails, it's gone bad, whatever, you want to replace it. You don't have to reprogram everything. You just go in, adjust the ID, and hit save. As long as it's the same sensor, same type of sensor type, you can go in and replace it, which just speeds things up, just makes installs, service, things like that a little bit quicker. This is kind of a cool one, right? We all have, we've all had that experience of smoke detectors in the middle of the night going into trouble and beeping and driving you crazy. It gets compounded by the fact when your panel, especially if you have trouble beeps turned on, now your panel's dinging and making noise all night long, right? So I have, you have a basement, it's unfinished, you have a smoke detector, it's a battery, your panel's gonna be chiming and bugging you. We now have given you guys the option to trouble beeps when you're in nighttime mode. Remember, nighttime mode is a setting on the panel that allows you to kind of silence stuff, right? It allows you to turn off the display. It allows you to turn off the chimes and voices at certain times. So for example, I have young kids. I have a panel outside their hallway and by their bedrooms at 8 o'clock when they go to bed. The panel display shuts off so that it's not lighting up the hallway. The chimes and the voices turn off so that while I'm running in and out the doors downstairs, the panel's not up there chiming and keeping the kids awake. And then at 7 o'clock in the morning when everybody wakes up, all that stuff turns back on again. Now you have the option to mute life safety trouble beeps, and it's tied to that nighttime mode setting. So 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night when nighttime mode turns on my panels, if we have any sort of troubles on smoke detectors throughout the house, that panel will not be chiming and waking up the kids, right? Which is really cool. This is the checkbox. Takes 2 seconds to turn on. Sound menu. This can be done in a matter of seconds, and just check the box that mutes the life safety trouble beeps during nighttime mode. So again, super simple feature that I think will add some, will reduce frustration, I guess, when it comes to trouble beeps.
The next feature that we have here is a user bypass attribute. So if you have a need to create users on your system and not allow them to arm the system and bypass sensors that aren't currently in a secure position. This is a feature that's really meant and built for you. You can think about if you have certain employees or certain think of it in a resi use case. You can think of like a cleaner or a dog walker. If they need if they're required to rearm the system after they leave your home, and you don't want to allow them to bypass any sensors that are currently in like an open or an unsecured state, this is really meant for you. So give them a user code and don't let that user code bypass sensors when it arms the system. And that that would require secure arming to be enabled. But really, that's what we're addressing here. Again, closing any security loophole that could be exercised by somebody, by leaving a sensor open.
Yeah, so think of like an office building or something where you have user codes for all of your employees, right? And you want to prevent somebody from bypassing a window and coming back in later and taking stuff, right? There's a million different use cases for this, but giving you guys the ability now to not allow certain people to bypass sensors, I think is really cool. The catch here is that you do have to have secure arming on, right? That's how we know who the user is and whether we allow them to bypass or not bypass. Secure arming is what requires a code to arm the system. So again, that's used quite a bit in commercial, but I would say that's the only catch. You got to have the secure arming feature on, and then the panel knows, okay, you're somebody who can't bypass, or you are somebody who can bypass. So kind of a cool feature that I think has been a long time coming. This one's another more installer-focused tool, so I like this one particularly. As you know, we have this feature on the panel that when you're doing an install, we can put the panel into installer test mode. What that does is turns all the sirens off. It used to be 30 minutes. We've now adjusted it to 60 minutes. As you know, when you're doing your installs and you're doing your testing, there's nothing worse than having sirens going off the whole time, especially if you're doing a later install and there's, maybe kids sleeping, or maybe it's afternoon, there's a kidnapping. You don't want the whole house, in siren mode while you're doing your testing. So we've given you this cool feature to disable that, and then we re-enable it for you automatically so that you don't forget, right? 30 minutes turns out wasn't enough time. This was feedback from you guys, from technicians. 30 minutes wasn't quite enough time. Can we bump it up? Yes, we can. We've now given you a 60-minute option. So again, when you start your install, turn this on. For 60 minutes, no sirens will go off on the panel while you're doing your testing. After the 60 minutes is up, we will re-enable that for you automatically so that you don't leave the home with the sirens turned off. That's a quick way to get into trouble. We'll re-enable it for you after the 60 minutes. So we kept the 30-minute option if you like that, but we added in the 60-minute option, which is really cool. So again, this is enabled from the sirens and alarms menu. So settings, advanced settings, the installation menu, and then sirens and alarms. And then the very first option, panel sirens, and you'll see this option here to disable that. So that's cool. That's it for kind of the main features, right? The main slides, but I did want to, this is the TSB for 4.6, right? There's much more in the software release than we're going to talk about today. So I just wanted to go through and highlight a couple things that maybe didn't warrant their own slide, but are worth mentioning to you guys. So let's go through this real quick and talk about a couple things here that we didn't have slides for. So obviously, first of all, going back to the PowerG Plus webinar, these are the new devices that are launching. There's quite a few here: door windows, motions, pure cams, new smoke detectors, that new water tile. Not all of these are available yet. The water tile and the pure cam are available today. The rest of these will launch kind of slowly over the next couple of months. So you'll hear more about that. Keep an eye on Facebook and email notifications, stuff like that. But these are all now supported in 4.6, which is exciting. As I mentioned, really cool features of PowerG Plus. The ability to lock these down to your dealer ID, getting battery analytics, much more detailed information on where the battery's at. Again, this is really cool from like a service call perspective. You go out to do a service call, you change the battery on the front door, you can actually check and see, oh, hey, the back door and the garage door at 30%, 20%, I might as well change those while I'm here, so I don't have to come back in a month and do the other ones, right? And then dirtiness level for our new smoke detector that's coming out, actually getting an idea of how dirty the detector is getting so that you can be proactive and make sure that that thing stays clean. A couple other things that are worth mentioning. Added a screen lock for IQ Remote PowerG. As you know, we've had that feature on IQ4 for a long time, having the ability to lock the screen so that the kids or whoever you want to prevent from touching the screen can't touch the screen. That's now supported on the IQ Remote PowerG, which is exciting. Added support to hide Z-Wave endpoints when required. In fact, Alex, you want to talk on this one a little bit?
I'll speak to this one. So we actually had a request from a builder, builder use case. Our dealer is installing a builder, and the builder is, just for like cost efficiency, they're using dual endpoint Z-Wave in-wall switches. And so the dual endpoint switches work fine, everything's good. But if you only have an odd number of electric loads that you're, wiring into those switches, then for instance, you're going to show up, you have like 8 Z-Wave, nodes, but you only have 7 electric loads. Hide the 8th one so you're not confusing your customer in the panel UI or on alarm.com. So it's really just addressing that use case of if you're, selecting to do dual endpoint Z-Wave devices, hiding one of those endpoints if it doesn't actually get used.
Yeah, that's cool.
Wired into an electric load.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for that, Alex. Another one worth mentioning, added a programming option to support the ability to disable the tamper on the PowerG hardwire takeover module and the new PowerG input-output module that's releasing here soon. That's part of this 4.6 build. We support that now. So giving you guys the option to disable the tamper if needed. This is a cool one. So out of support when utilizing our PowerG translator or the input-output module that's coming soon, when you're using groups defined as silent, when you program a silent group type, we don't trigger the siren output, right? Because we want it to be silent. But we've had a lot of requests to still trigger it so that we can power a strobe, for example, right? So if it's a silent device type and it goes into alarm mode, we still want to be able to trigger that siren output now to power a strobe if needed. So that's now supported, right? Before, again, that siren output wouldn't go, period, end of story, if it was a silent group type. Now we're giving the option to go ahead and push that siren output to power a strobe if you wanted, in case that's something that you run into. Again, more of a commercially focused ask, but it's been one that's been asked by multiple of our dealers. So that's kind of cool. This is a big one. Added remote support for Z-Wave device OTA, over-the-air firmware updates. This is important, right, for just moving forward, keeping the devices secure, keeping them updated, making sure that we're up to date with all the latest security updates and stuff like that. And then added virtual device support for the ecobee thermostat. Surprisingly, this ecobee thermostat is really popular, right? There's been a lot of demand for that to be supported on alarm.com. Alarm.com rolled that out, and now that will push to our IQ panel as a virtual device. Works the same way as the LiftMaster garage door opener, right? As you know, the LiftMaster garage door opener is a Wi-Fi device that learns into alarm.com directly, not into our panel. But alarm.com pushes that feed down to our panel so that you can control the garage door opener from the IQ panel UI, right? We're doing the same thing here with the ecobee thermostat. So once you learn that into alarm.com and it's all set up there, they'll automatically push that feed down to the panel so that now you can control the ecobee thermostat from the IQ panel UI, which is pretty cool. So that's it for like a new features that are coming to IQ4. As you can see, we didn't talk about every single one on here. There's just a lot here to talk about. So this TSB will get posted to the dealer portal. Based on your feedback today, we ought to go post it probably on Facebook and send out some emails, but definitely go on and check that out and read the rest of these because there's just a lot here, as you can see. As you can notice, this next section is more fixes and improvements. There's a couple things here. I guess one thing here that I really wanted to mention, and that was the Group 50 for the smart business temperature monitoring through alarm.com. If you recall, we rolled out support for this a few software versions back. There was a couple bugs. We had to stop supporting it for a minute. We let everybody know on the TSB that we were going to stop supporting that for a minute. We had to go back to the drawing board and fix a couple things. And now we're re-releasing support for that. So this is really cool when used with our PowerG temperature sensor. The cool thing about the PowerG temperature sensor is we allow you guys to adjust, to pick the thresholds that it trips at, right? If you want it to trip at 31 degrees, right, you can program that to trip at 31 degrees or 120 degrees, whatever you want. And then that device also has an optional probe if you want to run a temperature probe into a freezer or a cooler or a fridge or something like that. And then when you use that with the SBTM service from alarm.com, we actually allow you to pair up to 40 of these. You not only can see the temperature on the panel, but you can see it on alarm.com, and then of course that will push to the central station. So if you're a commercial building and you have a bunch of coolers or fridges or freezers or whatever it is, this is really important, right? Being able to monitor the exact temperature that you are worried about, set the thresholds that you're worried about in those fridges or freezers or whatever it be, and actually have it notify the central station, actually get a call when something's going on, when you've met those temperature thresholds. So this is really cool. Again, just kind of re-enabling support for that, as there was a couple issues with it in the past. Last but not least, I want to talk about this for just a brief minute, and then we'll open it up to some questions. As you guys know, we have, I hope that I'll try to make this as clear as possible. We get a lot of questions about software updates and how we get them and how they get rolled out and all that stuff, right? When we release this software on June 9th, it's going to be available via patch tag only, right? We have what we call blank patch tag, and then we have what we call patch tag, right? Blank patch tag means no code required, minimal effort, just hit the upgrade button, and we'll go pull down the latest fully approved, fully vetted software build to your panel, right? But when we release new software like this on June 9th, we won't make that blank patch tag right away. Meaning when you hit the update button, you're not going to pull down 4.6 yet, right? We slow roll the software very intentionally. We do this on purpose so that we don't release, a big bug and everybody's out updating, all throughout the world and there's issues, right? We like to slow roll this software out, vet it out, get it on 10, 15, 20,000 panels first, make sure it's really solid before we move it to what's called, again, blank patch tag, where you just have to hit the update button. So if you want to get this new software when we release it on June 9th, there's two ways to get it. You can either push it from alarm.com, or following the instructions here, you can enter the patch tag on the panel, which is right here, IQ panel 4.6.1, and you can download it that way, right? So I just wanted to make that very clear. When we release this on June 9th, and you hit the update button, you're not going to get this build, right? The only way to get it in the panel is to either enter patch tag, or again, you can push it from alarm.com. And again, we do that for safety reasons. We do that to make sure that we don't cause a bunch of issues, across the board. We like to slow roll it a little bit to make sure that it's good. We like to vet it out. So definitely use this, load it on your home panel, load it on your test panels right away. We love this. We've been running this on our home panels for a long time. We feel really good about it. It's a solid build. But just know that it will take a few months before we move that over to the blank patch tag download option, right? Anything to add there, Alex or Neil?
No, yeah, I mean, just, we wait for the software version to reach a critical mass of, certain number of panels on the field without any, critical or blocker issues reported, and then that's when we switch it over to blank patch tag. And 4.6.1 is also planned to go into the factory, but again, after it becomes blank patch tag, after it's reached critical mass with number of systems running that software.
Yeah, perfect. Neil, any questions? Anything worth?
No, none at all. All right, we're going to clarify some stuff. Jason's calling it 4.6. Alex is calling it 4.6.1. It is 4.6.1, so you'll notice that Jason had the patch up there as IQ panel 4.6.1. Easy explanation, probably confusing for some folks. We had actually finished building 4.6.0 and had kind of finalized it. And then both the ADC and JCI teams felt there was an opportunity for some improvement, specifically around Z-Wave networks. Since we'd already finalized 4.6.0, our servers do not allow us to reopen a firmware and start doing it again. So it's 4.6.1. Other than that, we could have a joke that we just jumped to the point release, or we could blame an engineer for typing 1 instead of 0. But that's the true reason of why it's 4.6.1. Well, now questions we have. Doorbell and camera notifications, do they work on the IQ remote? Do you get the thumbnails or just the text?
Yeah.
I know the answer.
Just the text on the remote, I think, right? For now?
Yeah, just the text. Yep, no thumbnails on the remotes. Somebody wants us to send PowerPoint via email. No, that is not going to happen. We do not send PowerPoints out. There will be an email coming from our marketing team tomorrow with the video link, but we do not send PowerPoints out, no. Okay, what else have we got? Lots of questions. Holy crap, lots of questions. Come on, Joel, help me out here. I'm on Mark. I'm scrolling and scrolling.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of stuff about the remote having access to multiple partitions. Alex, so lot of global partition comments for the remote.
Good feedback. Yeah. Yep.
Again, June 9th. Alex, this is I had never thought of this. Glenn made a great suggestion here. And I love installer test mode like Jason does too. But it'd be pretty cool if the panel made a noise or enunciation, maybe a minute or two before the test expired, so they were, the installer was aware. Great suggestion. I never thought of it.
I like that.
Okay, so voice enunciation when the installer mode ends.
Yeah, just maybe a warning saying it's about to end. I think it's a great suggestion. User attributes, are they going to be available on alarm.com or just the panel UI? So the bypass attribute.
That's just the panel UI.
All right. Let's see here. Joel, Mark, keep me honest. What else we got?
You're good.
I think so. Oh, Joe loves the enable disable Bluetooth audio. I know. I thought that was a weird one, but yeah, I didn't realize that it was as annoying for people as it was.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Good one. Yeah.
Folks in Canada who are using AT&T modules, Alex, would love to see the ability to lock to a cellular provider as opposed to just letting it roam. Right? So they may not want to use a TELUS or a Bell or a Rogers. They want to be able to choose. So that's a good feature, like carrier selection.
So we currently have that feature together with alarm.com. It's called manual network selection.
Internationally, we have that.
Yeah, that's a feature that's in I mean, I don't know if alarm.com has restricted that to like certain dealer types, but I'll take that as a note to look into them with whether we can have our Canadian dealers use manual network selection.
Yep. Lots of excitement for the PG Touch lock. I think we got everybody wants Alex's contact info, but I'm saving Alex. I've told them, not everybody, a few people do. I'm telling them to go through their TAMs or us, just so you don't get buried. This is the problem when we introduce product managers on calls. You're going to get buried in emails. But anybody who's smart enough to know how our email addresses work, it's not that hard. I'm just saying. Look at the screen, put a dot, you can figure it out. David's happy nobody called his glass break ugly this week, so that's good. We were all worried that he wasn't going to be here to have fun with it. Craig, yep, Craig wanted to know where these webinars are all on our YouTube channels. So just if you look for Qualsys YouTube, you'll see all of these webinars on our page. All right, I think we've got them all. Great, lots of great feedback.
Yeah, I'll just plug in, make another plug for the survey that we're going to have here at the end of the webinar. But yeah,
that's part of my housekeeping, my friend.
Okay, go for it now.
All right, so we do, and this one's, normally we put these after workshop surveys just to play with our own egos and, say, the presenters were great, Jason's hat looked good. I had somebody who actually wants to order the hat I'm wearing, which I don't know if not your hat. They want to order my hat, man. I don't know if I do have one black one that's the same, but anyway, regardless, people love our hats. And we normally use these after workshop surveys to, just make us feel good about ourselves. In this case, no, there's a really important one after this that Alex has got, again, as part of our PM team, he wants to get some good feedback on some stuff that, you would like to see in the future. Again, all the things that, we kind of asked some questions about in the polls, are we listening to you, stuff like that. You're not getting a black hat, Chris. I've given you enough free stuff over the years. I'm watching chat over here. But anyway, we're going to, this workshop survey is going to be pretty pretty good. I think there's a lot of good feedback we're asking from you guys. So please just take, it'll probably take you 2-3 minutes. Please take that 2 or 3 minutes and fill it out, just so we can make sure that Alex gets all the information he needs. So, he can make sure that we build the products and features that you guys want in the future. Other than that, I hope everybody has a good weekend. Got good weather going on. We're 4 minutes early. Jason was all worried we wouldn't be able to fill half of this webinar. But anyway, we're really happy that when you guys, all of you attend our webinars, we love the feedback, and stay tuned for the next ones that are coming up. So other than that, I'm out.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.